Hey YouTube family, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Molly and I'm a registered dietitian specializing in Gerd, acid reflux, LPR, laryngeopharyngeal reflux, as well as IBS and digestive issues. And I specialize in this area because I myself recovered from acid reflux. I had a really terrible history of acid reflux and IBS, and I was able to overcome these issues, and then I decided to specialize in this field, and it's my greatest passion to share evidence-based, accessible information with you guys to help you overcome your symptoms. So in today's video, this is a really highly requested video topic about acid reflux remedies. What can you do in that situation when you are experiencing reflux, you're experiencing heartburn, throat pain, feeling like something is stuck in your throat, you're noticing these symptoms after meals, what can you do to prevent it? So I'm going to be sharing 4 of my favorite quick remedies for acid reflux. Little disclaimer before we begin that I am a registered dietitian, but I am not your registered dietitian. So before starting any supplements, you want to chat with your trusted healthcare provider to ensure that this is right for you, because supplements do have some contraindications, and if you're looking for a personalized supplement plan and a personalized nutrition plan to overcome acid reflux, definitely check out my Reflux Relief one-on-one program. I have helped hundreds of people overcome acid reflux, and I would love to help you too. You can check out more about that down below in the description of this video. So without further ado, we will dive into my favorite remedies. The first one is actually chewing bubble gum. This is like an age-old remedy. You probably have heard of this, but maybe didn't know why this is a remedy. So I recommend doing a bubble or a watermelon flavored gum. Extra makes a watermelon flavored gum that my clients tolerate really well. The reason why chewing gum can help prevent reflux is because your saliva gets produced when you have gum in your mouth. If you have TMJ, you can just kind of hold it in your mouth. You don't have to chew like aggressively. But the saliva production, it actually is very basic. It has bicarbonate in it. So the pH of your saliva is very high, and it can neutralize acidic reflux. So the refluxate, the stomach contents that are going into the esophagus that is, acidic after a meal, the basic saliva can actually neutralize that stomach refluxate, which is that act of refluxing. And that is really helpful. This has been so helpful for a lot of my clients with Gerd and LPR. And if you are, someone who is trying to avoid artificial sweeteners, there are some gums that don't use aspartame. They use xylitol. I think it's called Pure Gum, PUR, but the flavor doesn't really last very long. And I know artificial sweeteners, they get a lot of bad press, but the amount is very small. And what's worse than artificial sweeteners is acid irritation. So sometimes you gotta pick one or the other. And my clients have really benefited from that. So you can give it a try, see if it works for you. If gum causes you bloating, you could try just holding it in your mouth so you're not chewing and you're not swallowing air potentially. But give this a try, see how it goes. It's a very safe, cheap thing to try after a meal. I also think that, the continued swallowing helps move things down the esophagus, because we want things to flow down and out of our digestive system. When we have reflux, things are flowing back up. And so that continued swallowing with the basic saliva, that has been something that's very effective. So give it a try, comment below, let me know what you think. The next thing that I'm gonna talk about is an evidence-based approach that has so many randomized controlled trials, which is the highest quality available evidence. It also has meta-analyses, and we're gonna talk about one meta-analysis from 2020. This is diaphragmatic breathing after meals. So diaphragmatic breathing after meals is an extremely powerful tool to prevent Gerd. Not only does it prevent Gerd, but it also helps to repair your nervous system. So your breath is your most valuable tool to start repairing your nervous system and bringing down your baseline level of stress. So many of my acid reflux clients are dealing with stress and anxiety. And if you're struggling with anxiety and Gerd, you're not alone. It's a vicious cycle because dealing with anxiety is very anxiety provoking, and anxiety can cause or worsen reflux symptoms. So the reason that diaphragmatic breathing, and I'll teach you how to do it in a moment, diaphragmatic breathing, the reason that it helps prevent acid reflux after a meal is it actually increases the pressure of the lower esophageal sphincter. The lower esophageal sphincter is the sphincter that connects your stomach and your esophagus. And we want that pressure because it creates an anti-regurgitation barrier. So it helps prevent reflux by, really improving that barrier of the stomach to the esophagus. So what is a diaphragmatic breath? It's very simple, but sometimes not that easy. So we'll practice it here together. You'll place one hand on your chest, one hand on your belly. And I want you to first just notice where, when you breathe, where in your body do you move? Like, do you feel the chest moving more? Do you feel the abdomen moving more when you're breathing naturally? A lot of us are chest breathers, and when we have anxiety, we're often breathing in the chest. And what we need to do is breathe lower in the body. So fill the lower portion of the lungs. So we're taking belly breaths. We're expanding the belly, letting the breath expand the rib cage, maybe a little bit of the chest as well, and then exhale, let it go, deep breath out. Again, we'll breathe in, let the belly expand, rib cage expands, and then maybe a little bit of the chest, and then let it go. So of course your belly isn't breathing. We're breathing into the lower portion of the lungs, which is going to expand the belly and expand the diaphragm. You should feel a little bit of your ribs kind of expanding here, and then exhale. Let it go. So I recommend, if you can do 5 deep breaths, 5 deep diaphragmatic breaths before and after a meal. This can stimulate not only that anti-regurgitation barrier, but also it can really calm the nervous system and help you shift into rest and digest side of the nervous system. Because if we're in the fight or flight side, our body basically deprioritizes digestion, and it tells our body, digestion isn't that important right now, and things can really go haywire in our motility. So 5 deep breaths before, 5 deep breaths after. Get the belly involved. Set reminders on your phone if you have trouble remembering this. And one meta-analysis in 2020 looked at 7 randomized control trials, and they analyzed this research, and it showed that diaphragmatic breathing is actually really clinically effective and statistically significant to show that this helps to create more pressure with the lower esophageal sphincter to prevent reflux. So these results were statistically significant, which means, they really have some strong evidence. And so try this out for yourself. Let me know how it goes. Incorporate diaphragmatic breathing, throughout your day too, to keep your stress levels down. The third remedy that I'm going to talk about is DGL. So this is deglycyrrhizinated licorice root, and this is really helpful for heartburn, throat pain. DGL is an herb that basically helps to create a thicker mucus lining on your throat, on your esophagus, on your stomach lining. So if you're having that constant acid irritation, this can help protect. I will say it doesn't physically block reflux or prevent reflux. It just helps to protect from heartburn and acid irritation. It's also anti-inflammatory. So it helps to soothe inflammation in the throat and the esophagus that may have occurred due to acid reflux. So I will link this and the next supplement down below. I'll also link the studies that I'm referring to down below for the diaphragmatic breathing. But this is super, super helpful. You can pop a couple of these before a meal. I usually say don't exceed, 3 in a day. So maybe doing, 1 before each meal, or maybe, before the meals that you're noticing the most reflux. I would say don't exceed 3, like 1,200 milligrams in a day. It's usually what I say. But again, I definitely recommend getting personalized supplement advice, because some supplements are contraindicated. If you have kidney issues, this may not be appropriate for you, or liver issues. So you wanna definitely get those recommendations from a trusted healthcare provider. But something that has been helpful for my clients, last thing I'm gonna talk about is an alginate supplement. Alginates are amazing, and they're starting to be more widely used by ear, nose, and throat doctors, by GI doctors here in the States. They've been used across the pond in Europe for years, but they're starting to be more heavily used in the United States. And what alginates do is, what they are first is they are basically just algae, and it's just like this liquid, this gooey texture. And what they do is they create, you swallow it after a meal or before bed, depending on kind of what your symptoms are like. And it creates a gel raft at the top of your stomach to physically block reflux. Some of my clients use 1 teaspoon, some use 2. And this one is called Reflux Raft. It has a little bit sodium bicarbonate in it to neutralize the acidity of any reflux 8. And it also has a little bit of DGL, it has a little bit of ginger, but I don't find it very spicy or gingery. I'm gonna link this down below. This is one of my favorites that I'm using right now with my clients. And it's very, very safe for long-term use. Also safe in pregnancy, of course, check with your OBGYN, but this is also safe in pregnancy. I would not take DGL in pregnancy just because it hasn't been studied, but You can also do diaphragmatic breathing as a pregnant person, and chewing gum as long as that's okay with your provider. So those are my 4 acid reflux remedies that I wanted to share with you guys today. But what I will say is that there are so many more ways to prevent acid reflux than your doctor tells you, other than the PPI, you know, other than avoiding triggers. There's so much more to the story. And I know this because I've been through the same cycle of getting endoscopies, you know, having all of my results come back negative, still suffering every day despite the PPI. There is hope for you. You have to address nutrition, address lifestyle, stress management, and identify your root causes. And if you are looking for more support, I definitely recommend checking out my programs down below. I have a one-on-one program called Reflux Relief where I help you design a nutrition and supplement and lifestyle plan, and then I help you implement that in subsequent follow-ups. And we look at your root causes. We really look at you as a whole person. So check that out. I also offer a self-paced program for acid reflux healing on the FLORA app. My app is called FLORA, and there are acid reflux recipes, acid reflux friendly yoga classes, gut-directed meditation, and diaphragmatic breathing practices, as well as a weekly Q&A where I answer your questions in a video format. So the FLORA app is a really great self-paced way to get involved and get started on your healing journey. If you are suffering with acid reflux, I want you to know you're not alone, and I'm so glad you found my page. And if you have any questions, please comment them down below. Send me a message on TikTok and Instagram. Let me know that you're coming from YouTube. And be sure to follow me on all my platforms at mollypelletier.rd. I post daily acid reflux and Gerd and LPR tips on TikTok and Instagram. So be sure to go over there and say hi. Thanks for being a part of this community, and I'll see you soon.